tell people that I do not even need the Bible to explain to me who God is, but like just watching my life and what has happened in my life, it can prove to me that God is real and God is present. I grew up in a very poor family in Uganda. I never had dreams of being who I am today. I'd never dreamt of that. Not even a single day. I can't even tell you that I've ever, you know how we grow up and we have dreams? I did
Yeah.
not have this dream because this was not something I can even afford to dream.
Welcome to Taka Talk Podcast. Welcome to Taka Talk Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Today on Taka Talks podcast, I'm honored to be joined by a friend, a father, a husband, an air mechanic. This is the guy you want to be on your plane when you travel. He can literally fix any plane. If you're listening right now to this podcast, let that sink in. This guy fixes any kind of plane. That's incredible. That is awesome. An incredible human being from Uganda with a powerful voice who is shaking up the world with positive vibes through amazing conversations that challenge thinking, elevate culture, and spark meaningful dialogue across Africa and the diaspora. His work goes beyond entertainment. It's about truth, growth, and using his voice with purpose. He is a 3-time Pulse Uganda podcast influencer of the year. He won that 3 times, back to back to back. Bonny Kibuuka, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on your podcast. Man, it's so crazy being on the other side of the mic where somebody's reading your like introduction. I do it to my guests all the time and I never know how it feels, but like
Yeah.
sitting back and just listening to you read all that, I'm like, dang, that's crazy. That's crazy. But thanks for having me, my brother.
Yes, I had to write it down, man, because like your resume is quite big. But that's the reason why I'm so glad you're here today, because we get to talk more about who you are, where you're coming from, where you're going, the impact that you've made in this world really so far. And I'm excited to see where your journey is gonna go. So how are you? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Life has been good. Family is good. So I'm happy. I'm at a good spot in life. Isla is good. My daughter is, as parents, that's the
Yeah.
worst part when the kid is sick, things and all. But things are going great. Work is going good. The podcast is going great. So God has been good. Being really
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm so glad to have you here, man. It's incredible. It's awesome. I know I've said some stuff in the introduction, but if you were to introduce yourself to someone who doesn't know you, how would you introduce yourself?
I don't really like, yeah, the resume was huge and big, but whenever I'm talking to people, I like to keep it simple. I'm like, I'm a podcaster. I host the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. I'm a husband. I'm a dad. My daughter, Isla, she's 2. And aircraft mechanic is what I do for a living. We fix aircrafts here in the United States of America. That's basically my whole journey, how I came to the US. But yeah, that's me. I love God. I'm a believer. And yeah, that's what I can say. And people will get to learn more as we go on.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So you have interviewed incredible and super talented people on your podcast, the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. And how does it feel to be on the other side of the mic today? You're not the interviewer today.
It is crazy. I've done a few episodes. I've done maybe like 2. 2 people have invited me on their podcast. I don't know if
What?
people are just scared to have a podcast. So I really appreciate for considering me, and it's a
Invite this guy.
privilege to be on the podcast. But it feels crazy. But on the positive side, though, I was telling my wife when I was coming down here, I was like, it feels nice not to prepare anything, to just go and talk, because when I'm the host, I have to do research. I have to do that. Am I going to ask this? Am I going to ask that? So I have some bit of pressure when I'm
Yeah.
going to interview somebody. But being a guest is like I'm showing up. All I do is I'm going to talk, and talking is what I do best. Especially if I don't have to prepare, I just have to come and
Yeah.
chit chat. So it feels good, and I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. And before we go any further, we have to address the elephant in the room. Okay.
Let's go.
You are one of the biggest fans of Arsenal FC, right?
Let's go.
And
North London forever.
you guys have Arsenal FC, You have finished the league second in the last 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right now, you're on top of the table, right?
Yes, sir.
How confident are you that you win the league?
Well, obviously, it doesn't take away the trauma that you've had 3 seasons consecutive of like. And actually, I just saw a post the other day like we have been fast on Christmas for the last maybe 3 years, and then we ended second, and then yeah, and like fifth or something like that. But with the recent performance, definitely it's shaking up the house a little bit. Our performance has not been great. I had super high hopes at the beginning of the season because we're up there, but you see teams are now starting to play very good, like Man City. Obviously, PTSD right there that's coming. Um, um, I still believe we're gonna win the league. I still believe we'll do because if you see the games we lost last season or the seasons before, even coming back and winning these games, I know Aston Villa was a disappointment, but seeing the fight and seeing the players like demanding more, it gives me confidence. But still, I'm still scared a little bit with the PTSD again. But hopefully we win it because I promised myself if we don't win it this season, I'm gonna give soccer a break and just chill for a minute. I'm
Just
not
chill.
doing that. Yeah,
No, I know you stick with it because I know if we have learned anything from Manchester United fans, like you stick with your team no matter
you
what.
stick with your team. Yeah, yeah. They've seen worse. Yeah.
But that's awesome. I'm a Barcelona fan, and I love that team so much. And it's also crazy that sometimes we just give up some
Hmm.
points to Real Madrid. And the reason why I watch Real Madrid is to see it lose, but
Hmm.
they just find a way to win. It's
I
crazy.
know. It's like Man City. There's the same thing with Man City. Like I watch Man City games. I'm like, I hope they lose this one, and they find a way to win the game. I'm like, what is so special in them? Why can't Arsenal be like that? You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's wild, man. It's wild. But I'm so glad we have to have these conversations, talk about the things that we love. So, looking at our backgrounds, we have similar experiences growing up in Africa, playing soccer in the dusty streets
Hmm.
of Africa, moving to USA, going to GLCC. We have a lot of mutual friends now, Herman, Danny, and others. And we're also married to women from the USA, and we're raising our families here. That connected us a lot. And I'm so glad I've met you when I did. And you're one of those people that inspired me to go on this podcasting journey. How does it feel to see the impact you're making in real time?
Damn, I got goosebumps when you asked me that question because when I was starting my podcast, it was all about impact. We grew up in a world of social media where numbers are a big thing. If you're not having this many numbers, you're not great or you're not your thing is not good. And my main focus was about impact. Like every time somebody, and that's why every time somebody messages me, I take a screenshot of that to share with the world that, okay, the numbers might not be there, but the impact is there. Somebody acknowledges this has helped me. I've enjoyed this. I've loved this. Seeing people start podcasts because they saw me do it. That's to me, I don't look at that as a competition. I look at it as yes, that is great. I'm so happy like because we're all on this journey to put the word out there for people to depending on why you're doing your podcast, like if you're doing a podcast to help another person, like that's definitely a good thing to see. And I'm glad you pointed that out as one of the people that are super excited for you to start this platform. I was like, it's going to be great with your why when you explained to me, because we had a long phone call on why you wanted to start
Yeah.
one. And whenever I listen to people's why, that's for me, it gets me encouraged and I get really super happy and excited. But the impact for me, and that's the thing that has been driving me. Like even when I get one person and they message me like, "Hey man, I listened to this episode, spoke to me, I appreciated it," and I still get those even today. But even like people supporting me, I started doing some merch that I do, people buying those and like supporting, showing that love. It's been amazing and it's really rewarding and makes me believe in God. And every time I achieve something, the first thing I write is God is great because that's been like my slogan. And
Yeah.
it's been a God thing. And to the point where now we're able to make some money, we're able to do things, even the things we didn't have attention to. And one thing I'll tell you was this year when I hit 10,000 followers and subscribers on YouTube. It wasn't something I was looking at. It wasn't something I expected, but it happened when I wasn't chasing it. And yeah, that's how God has rewarded me. And even seeing other people like you starting a podcast, people who are not doing podcasts, but they listen and they appreciate the conversation. It's definitely been amazing to see, and I love it.
That's incredible, man. You are making an incredible impact. I'll be singing this song until the end of this podcast. So, you being born to a Kenyan mother and a Ugandan father, how did your parents make sure that you understand, adopt, and adapt to both cultures?
So yeah, my mom is Kenyan. She grew up in Kenya, born and raised in Kenya. The way they met was in Bible school. My dad is Ugandan. He moved to Mombasa to go to Bible school, and my mom was in some school, and that's how they met. She moved to Uganda. They got married, and they gave birth to us in Uganda. So we grew up in Uganda most of our life. But my mom made sure that we go to Kenya every year to see my other families. So we went to Kenya every year to see our families. That kept us close with our family in Kenya. I mean, it was like maybe a week or two to spend with the people in Kenya, but it was still something. That's the way we're able to learn a little bit of culture, what they do in Kenya, a little bit of language. And we love our families in Kenya. So we stayed in touch and tried to do that. For Uganda, we were there. So we learned things because we spent most of our time there. We went to school in Uganda. So we kind of balanced it out like this. There's a lot of things that we missed out in the Kenya side, like learning my mother's language, the Kalenjin. My mom is Kalenjin.
Okay.
But for the most part, she did what she could to have us go every year because it's money and then time. But she did her best in making us go to Kenya and learn the culture there too. Because at this point, I can listen to a Swahili conversation and I can understand. I mean, I can express myself a little bit, not very
Okay.
fluent, but like just going there and being in that environment helped me to learn the language that you can say something, I'll understand. I might respond back in English, but I can also like speak some when I can.
Yes, that's incredible, man. They did a really good job. We're trying to do the same as well with our family, trying to get the boys to Zimbabwe so they can be able to see family. They can be able to learn the language. Leads to my next question. Language for us has been really tough to teach to our kids because we have an English native and a Shona native, and we're speaking English and we're trying to teach the kids Shona. How have you been able to navigate that with Isla, your daughter?
Yeah, and like you said, it's hard. It's really hard when you live in America. All the places you go to, they speak English. Even in your own house, you have to speak English to your wife. So it's kind of hard to teach the kids to learn. If both of you were like from Zimbabwe or both of you were from Uganda, it would have been easier because then you can speak Luganda or
Yeah.
you can speak Shona in the house and the kid can pick up. But when your maiden language is like English, it's kind of hard. But what I've tried to do is kind of like get the basics. And I remember we talked about this with you on the phone, like
Yes.
counting from 1 to 10 in Luganda, telling her good night, I love you. Those simple words, which she can do now. My daughter is 2. She can say good night in Luganda. She can say I love you. She can say some animals in Luganda. She can
That's nice.
count. Yeah. So I'm really happy on the progress and I try. I do my best. It's definitely hard, but I do the best I can and see if she can pick it up. And it's been hard to teach my wife though. Like for her, it's hard. And like when you're spouses, I don't know if you ever. No, I don't think he did. But like when I was in Uganda, my brother was teaching his wife to drive,
Yeah.
and they would always like fight. Like they always argue because like you're not getting it, you're not getting it. So like it's the same thing when you try to teach your spouse English. I say
Yeah.
this, I say this. It doesn't end well. You would rather get somebody else to teach your wife because then they can be patient.
That is true. That is true. Because that's the thing that I love about my wife as well. Because we're talking, my older kid is 3 older. He is interested in the language. So we're speaking it more often now. Also because Jen, my wife, wants to learn it. But she also found a person who is doing some Shona tutoring online. That's probably a better way to learn the language because, when you're close to each other and trying to, teach each other those kinds of things, yeah, it can get dicey sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool when the kids are also interested, when she is interested, and then hopefully I need to do my part where I can be able
Hmm.
to be intentional about speaking it more so that
Right.
everybody can be able to understand exactly from me, so that when we travel to Zimbabwe, they can be able to communicate to family, because there are some family that cannot speak English. So if they know the language, the kids themselves, they'll be able to communicate with my family in Zimbabwe. So you are an incredible dad, as we've been talking about here. I've come to your house. I've seen how you are with your daughter, and I've seen, her assisting you with the podcast and all of that. What kind of a father do you hope to be?
I always told my dad. No, no, I didn't tell my dad, but like it's something that I had in my head. Like my parents did a good job raising me, but I want to be better. There's some things that I want to change in my own childhood that I want at least to do better for my child. Growing up in Uganda, we were raised by you do something wrong, they spank you, they cane you in your butt. That's the way of life. I think all African kids were like that. I believe that maybe at that time I was so stubborn that words could not change the way like correct myself and they had to like cane me. But as I grew up, I was like, what if somebody sat down and talked to me about something, like other than caning me? Because even at school, I got to a point where I'm gonna do something, and I know what my punishment's gonna be. Like I'm gonna still do it because this is what they're gonna do,
Yep.
and that doesn't change anything. But I felt like if somebody sat down with me, tried to tell me like, "Hey, do like this, like this." So I wanted to be the dad of like giving my daughter a chance. I'm telling her, like loving her unconditionally. Like I'll try to, I do that, but also letting her know when she has done something wrong. Like, yes, I do love you, but this is not acceptable. Like this is not like I tell you I still love you and I need to address this to you, which is hard sometimes. Like, and I'm thankful for my wife because she's more patient than I am. My daughter would go crazy, would like something that would snap in my head and I get angry. But then because today my daughter lost it and she was like screaming, it was nap time. She was screaming, she was doing this. And then I was like, man, it's making my head hurt. I'm like, and then my wife gets her, takes her to her room. They sit there for like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. And then she was quiet. So my wife came back. I asked her, what did you do? Like, I just sat down and talked to her and she came down. I was like, that's cool.
I
Because
need
if
to
it
try
was
that.
me, I would have been frustrated. I would have been, and just made the things worse. But that's also the other thing that I still like learn. But I want to be a dad present in her life, being
Hmm.
available. I feel like that's priceless. Like you can buy your kids many toys that they aren't, but like you being in her life and her seeing you changes a lot in her life. And I like that she watches me, what I do. I didn't even know she knew about podcasts, but one day we were sitting there and she was like, I was like, what are you doing? I'm doing my podcast. Like, how do you do your podcast? Like, I think I have this video on social media and like she's there like doing like this. But like even the other day, like a few days ago, she sat on my desk and my computer. I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm doing Daddy's podcast right here. And like she was, because I sit there and I edit the videos. So it's
Yeah,
pretty cool to see how like picking up on what I do and picking interest. Hopefully, she'll pick up more stuff. But yeah, I want to be a good dad, loving her, being in her life, and being present, but also disciplining her, like helping her know what's right and just like the other big thing is just letting her know about God. That's why we pray every day, every night, like read the Bible. And I think that's what one thing my parents did good in my life. Like we prayed every time. And now that I don't have them in my life, the seed is still there. Like I remember who God is. Like wherever she moves on to go in her life, she'll remember that.
that's really cool, man. You were talking about God. We're both Christians, and how has God been the thing in your life to, get you where you at?
That's a good question too, because I tell people that I do not even need the Bible to explain to me who God is, but like just watching my life and what has happened in my life, it can prove to me that God is real and God is present. I grew up in a very poor family in Uganda. I never had dreams of being who I am today. I'd never dreamt of that, not even a single day. I can't even tell you that I've ever You know how we grew up when we have dreams? I did
Yeah,
not have this dream because this was not something I can even afford to dream.
you can't even picture it.
Forget achieving it, but like just picturing it, it was doing a disservice in my head. It's like, no, you can't
Yeah,
even picture it because you can't see it. You can't. I don't even know how to put it in words, but like you can't picture it in your head because you can't even see it. So, but slowly by slowly, God started opening these things up in my life. I'm like, oh, so this is possible. Oh, so this can happen. Oh, so this is like this. Oh, so this is like that. And that goes through my journey to coming to the United States and how life has happened even after coming to the United States, like ending up where I'm at, the job that I'm doing, the family that I have. I never dreamt that I'm going to marry a lady from America. I'm never imagined like I'm going to have a daughter like Isla. I never things like, but like God just placed those things in my life. Like this is God. Like sometimes when I first came to America, I was living on people's houses. Like I was living on their couches. People were helping me with clothes, with food, with shoes. I did not have anything. I moved here with like 10 clothes. And when I came to go to school, I did not have tuition. I did not have anything. But finishing school without financial, what's that thing that people pay?
debt.
Financial aid that you pay at later. Yeah, financial
Yeah,
debt. I
financial
don't have
aid.
any of that. I finished all my school with my degrees. I don't have any of that. Like God took care of all that, and so for me to watch that and how things evolve in my life, like with the jobs that I have, with the family I have, with the podcast that I have,
It's
I'm not
incredible.
like right now. People think, "Oh, you're famous. You're what?" No, 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 no. I'm just like the same person as other people, but God shows His work in what you do, and when you let Him like take control. So that's what I can talk about God. I could talk about God the whole day, but like in those small things, like everything I touch on, God has blessed it. Like if I just let Him like take charge of it.
Yeah, we're seeing that, man. We're seeing that. I totally relate to what you're saying because I grew up the same way. You know, there was no way I would have dreamt that I would go to America. I was telling you the story when I came to your podcast. You know, I think I went to the city, the capital city of Zimbabwe, maybe 5 times or so before I flew to come to the States. So maybe the sixth time I went to the capital city was the time I was flying to come to America. I was one of those people that, you know, when you get in Harare, the capital, you just try, have a hard time finding your way around. And God took me from, you know, that place, the rural areas, you know, where only one car would travel from that place to to Chinoy, our small city that I grew
And
up in.
when he leaves in the morning, you wait for it the next day.
You know, exactly. You be prepared to if you miss it, like that's
Yeah.
it. You know, you gotta replan everything. So coming from a place like that to go to Chinoy, like a semi big city, to Harare, it was like a big, you know, it's the hand of God that I was able to see through all that. And being here today, you know, I'm an American citizen. Like that's something that I never dreamt would happen. But God is just good in the way that He works, and I'm just so grateful for all of that. So when you came to America initially, what was the one thing that shocked you the most the first time you landed, you set foot in America? What shocked you?
So I'll mention a few, a good one and a bad one. So when I first came to America, because before we come to America, we have this picture of America as like, oh, America, it's
Streets of
like
Gold.
street of gold, like it's close like heaven, you know, like
Yeah.
that's a picture we have. Like we just have a picture of New York City or Miami or Los Angeles, like that's what we have in our head. And yeah, I my first plane that brought me to America landed me in Los Angeles. And I was like, man, this is nice. Like people are driving brand new cars. Like, and you know, here you can have one license plate on your car, so whether the front or the back. That doesn't happen there. You need to have both. And then somebody drove me in their car. The car was clean. Doesn't have dust. Doesn't have dust. I'd never seen a car without dust.
You're looking for the dust. You're like, where is
Yeah.
dust?
That's like I asked this guy, how long have you had this car? Probably like 5 years. It looks brand new. It's like he just got out of the thing like today. You know, like he looks brand new. It doesn't have dust. That was pretty interesting. The no, not necessarily a bad thing. Like in the same state, I stayed there for like 2 weeks. They took me to Los Angeles, downtown. Bro, I saw homeless people.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, dang, they have homeless people in America. Like that shocked me. I'm like, I didn't know it. And that goes to tell you how the Americans promote their country in outside the world. Like when you're in Uganda, you never see that. Not until you visit. So for us, when we're in Uganda, we see America as like streets of gold. It's beautiful, nice, because they don't let that go outside their country. It is there. But when you're in America and they give you a picture of Africa or Uganda, what do they show you? Kids without clothes, like kids with, like people are starving, like that. So that was, I was like, oh, so there are people like that here too. And that was a culture shock too. I was like, I didn't think they were there. But the other thing was, obviously movies have impacted my view, had impacted my view of America. I'd never seen trees or anything. So I didn't see like a lot of trees. Then
Yeah.
when I went to North Carolina, they have a lot of trees. I'm like, dang, I didn't know America has a lot of trees like this. But they even have more trees than Uganda. So it's like, but and then snow. I could talk about this a lot, like
Yeah.
snow. It wasn't too much when I lived in Los Angeles and Alabama. But when I came to Michigan, yeah, that was.
Yes.
And you went to Great Lakes, so you know how Michigan
Oh
weather
yeah.
is like.
Everybody was saying like, "Whoa, wait until you see snow. Wait until
Yeah,
you have you ever
yeah.
seen snow? Oh no, wait until you see snow." And I saw it. I saw it, dude. I was, I woke up one morning and looked outside, and just like it was all white and
Mhm.
very cold, but it was beautiful on first sight. I was
Yeah,
looking, I was
yeah,
like, "This is
definitely.
beautiful. Like it's amazing." I didn't hear it rain or fall,
Mhm,
but then when I went out there, I was like, this is awesome. Then the
mhm,
cold kicked in, dude. It was crazy because we used to work on campus, shoveling snow and stuff. That was wild because, you'd be having these thick gloves,
mhm.
but then at the same time, you'd be freezing in them. You'd be like, what's going on? But after the second, third year, fourth year, we was well adjusted. It was still
Mhm.
cold, but we are kind of used to it. So that
Yeah,
was quite an experience.
yeah, it was when I was North Carolina and I was moving to Michigan, like, this is still when I didn't have, like, a bunch of clothes and I didn't even have a jacket. One of my friends says, "Bunny, let me give you this jacket and this blanket because the state you're going in, you're gonna need it." And I came to Michigan, like, I didn't know why he was giving me a thick jacket, but
Yeah.
then later on I found out why.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
So did you come here to the States to become an aircraft mechanic?
Yeah. So when I finished high school in Uganda, I always wanted to work on airplanes. And it's a long story, but like my uncle helped me find a school in Orlando that I was supposed to go to, but I didn't go there. And I ended up to another school in Alabama, by Southeastern Bible College, that I was there for a year. And then when I was there, that's when I found out about School of Missionary Aviation in Michigan. And
Okay.
then I came to Michigan. And when I graduated from there, a friend of mine told me about Great Lakes, and I had finished my aviation program. So then I went to Great Lakes. I played soccer, and then I did cross cultural studies or culture anthropology, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So then I finished that. Yeah. But yeah, the main reason was to come do aviation. But through that journey, when I had issues with visas and stuff, I ended up in a Bible school. So kind of God worked it in His way. Like I did both of them, so that's why I ended up with 2 degrees. I have a degree in culture anthropology and then aviation. Yeah,
Mm.
so that's where I'm at.
Oh, cool. I know you can, through that process, you're able to learn, how to, fix planes and all of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I know you love your job. You love everything that you do for your job, but
Yeah,
what's your favorite thing to work on a plane?
it's funny because you say that. That's my favorite thing. I love to work on is what I work on. I mean, we do pretty much everything the whole plane,
Okay.
but I love engines.
Okay.
Actually, I'm on the engine team for my workplace. My first job was an engine overhaul. We'll take these engines off the plane, the 777s and 747, and then bring them to this room and take them apart and put them back together and then put them back on the aircraft. So, but that was a job I did. It was a company called Kalita. Yeah, Kalita. I know it's Kalita Aviation. It's a cargo airline.
Okay. Okay.
So we did, but then I got a new job now. I work with Signature Aviation. A lot of people know this. It's all over the United States. But yeah, still with them. I like to do engines, servicing engines like borescope,
Hmm.
checking the engine
What's that?
removal and install. So boroscope is it's like ultrasound. No, no, ultrasound don't make sense. It's like when you take a camera and go inside the engine to inspect to see if the things inside are doing good.
Okay, what they should be doing.
Yeah, so you put a camera in there and then you have a little screen, so the thing is going like that. Okay, these blades are good. There's no
Nice.
cracks. Yeah, so something like that.
It's like what they do in the movies where they're trying to break down this house where the criminal is,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
put like
yeah,
a little camera under the door.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I do
That's
that a
awesome.
lot, and yeah, inspections and stuff.
That's cool. So you fix this, you took this engine apart, you take it
Mhm.
apart and you bring it back together, you fix whatever that was needed. So do you test fly the plane?
Yes. So I've never gone on a test flight, but we do run the planes after we've changed things on it. Like,
Do you turn it on or do you have a pilot
yeah,
that
no. So like my lead, the one I work with now, he's a mechanic too. So we turn it on and run it on ground. We don't fly it up.
okay.
Like we run it on ground, and then the pilot will come and then take it on a test flight. Once we know like everything checked out on ground, everything works out. There's certain numbers you're supposed to hit, and if those numbers check out, and then he can take it up there. Yeah, and some of the people have gone on test flights. I've not. I'm okay. I'm good. I don't want to go on test. I still trust what I
Okay.
did, but I'm good.
I love what I do. What I do, and I fix this plane, but somebody else gotta go on. That's awesome. So, are you ever like afraid when you're flying at all, or?
No, I'm actually never like. My wife is afraid of flying, but I'm not. I sit on the plane. I sleep. I pass out. I even stand, go do whatever. I don't even think about it. Not even a bit when I'm on the plane. But yeah, it's weird to see people freak out when they see tape on the wings and like Spirit Airlines. Shout out to Spirit Airlines. You have like tape, tape on the
Yeah.
wings. Like, you guys fix airplane with tape? It's yes, we do. Just go put duct tape. No, not duct tape. There's a tape that we put on there, and yeah. But no, I never get scared. Even
Have you?
when we have turbulence, like I don't,
Yeah, I
unless
was gonna.
it stays for a long time. But like if it's just a little bit, I'm not scared.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, was there any sound that you've ever heard during a flight? Then you're like, I think that's the thing in the engine that's causing that, or whatever.
No, not really, not
Okay.
really. Because
Okay.
usually in those flights, no. You mean when I'm flying?
When you're in the plane, you're flying, going somewhere, and you
Yeah,
hear a sound. You know how sometimes when the wheels, come out,
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes like a weird
Okay,
sound. Then
yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa.
So no, it wasn't a bad sound, but like when we are landing, you can hear the landing gears come out. Because when the plane is taking off, those wheels go up
Yeah,
in there and then they close the doors. So when you're close to landing, those wheels come
they come
down.
out.
Like when the pilots say, get ready for landing, then the wheels come on, and then you see the flaps like moving to a certain angle because they have to be at a certain angle when they're landing to like control the air and stuff. So yeah, when those things start moving, those flight controls start moving, I know like, okay, that's landing gears coming up, that's hydraulics, that's this, that's that. Yeah.
That's incredible, man. It's really fascinating. Like you're saying, where you're coming from, where you're going, and what you're doing right now is really, really cool. So, in the midst of all of that, when did the idea of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show first come to your mind, and what happened then? Like, what was your first initial influence that made you want to start one?
So after I achieved all that, achieving my childhood dream, I felt like that's an amazing story. Not very many people get to do that where I come from. Where I come from, people never even get close to their dreams. But God helped me to get to my dream that I didn't even have in picture. So I was like, why do I sit on this information where I can inspire somebody else to make them believe that it's possible? A kid like me from your small town made it happen. So then I started up. It was in COVID when we had a lot of time and was watching anything and everything on the TV, on the anywhere. So I got into podcasting, like listening to people doing podcasts and stuff. I like that. I like talking. I like having conversations. I like sharing people. At the beginning, I didn't have idea of like hosting other people on the podcast.
Hmm.
That's why if you go back to my very, very first episode, I think
It
three
was
of them
just
was
you.
just me and the mic just talking. But after like 3 episodes, I'm like, I kind of sound boring, and I kind of ran out of conversation to talk about. Like, what am I going to talk about for like the rest of the episodes? I was like, you know what? There are many other people out there that have done cool stuff. Why
Yeah.
don't I just start bringing them and we just have a conversation about their life and their journey and what they've been able to achieve? So that's when I started bringing guests on the podcast. But I've been inspired. There was actually, I need to shout out to this person. I forgot to say that on my episode that I recorded on my podcast because I did somebody was interviewing me. But there's a lady, she's in the United States, and if she ever gets to hear this podcast, Edith Naigaga, in COVID, she had started, she was doing like audio thing on Spotify,
Okay.
and her podcast was from Uganda to America. And she was sharing about her journey, how she lived to Uganda to come to America. I was like, man, that's interesting to document your life like that, and kind of pick the idea from there. And actually, she was my first guest. It's so crazy
Mm.
that you bring me on this podcast too. Like we've had conversation of this, but like she was my first guest too. And actually, I had her again the second time, and we did something. Unfortunately, she stopped doing the podcast, but
Mm.
she lit up a candle and she lit one in me. So I say that, but also like the American podcasters I really love, Jay Shetty, amazing Dario of a CEO. And I never did journalism.
Okay, just wait. I just have to interrupt you. My next question was going to be, who are the top two big name
Yeah, yeah,
podcasts that you find inspiration from? And those two are mine
yeah.
too.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
that's awesome.
And I love when that happens because it happens to me too, the way I'm organizing questions for my guests.
Yeah,
And literally we'll be talking and my guest talks about the thing I'm gonna ask them in the same order. I'm like, that's really good. I love it. But then on the other hand, I'm like, you should have let me bring that up so people can
let
see
me
how
ask
smart I
you.
am or something. Yeah. Like you took my points. Like just leave it
Yeah,
for me. But no, yeah, those two were big and I love them. And actually just to also go off, like we're 50 minutes into the I love the way you do this podcast. It's something I was going to tell you at the end, but I feel like I need to say it right here because like the way you're doing this conversation is really amazing, and the way you drive it, the way you guide it's like, damn, this guy is
dude,
superstar.
dude, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like it means a lot, coming from you. You've been doing this, for 6 years now.
Five
And
years, yeah.
5 years, it means a lot, having that like appreciation coming
Mm,
from you. And I am really enjoying this too because, this is one of the first like episodes I've recorded for this. And, I love talking to and I love talking
yeah.
to interesting people, and you and your story. I feel like it's something that I have to listen to.
Mhm.
I've heard like part of it, but it still amazes me what you do, what you're doing, and where you're headed. So I do appreciate you saying that, man. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you. So also like the other two, I was going to say my other two Zimbabwean podcasts that I am also enjoying and finding influence from, Black and Forth podcast by these guys, Kandoro and Chirisa. They're like two Zimbabwean guys. They're funny guys, comedians, and they talk about, what's happening. But it's really cool to see other local people in Zimbabwe doing their, work on podcasts and stuff. And it's an inspiration to me. And then, of course, my friend Gemma with Hello Hi. She's really doing a good job. Are there any other Ugandan podcasts that you really enjoy? Who do you just think of right now when you think of like podcasts in Uganda?
Before I answer that, I like to shout out that on my podcast I've had I think 5 Zimbabweans on my
Yeah.
podcast. Tucker, Charmaine, Terulai,
Mm,
Becoming Anesu, Haman. I think I'm
mm-hmm,
forgetting somebody,
mm-hmm,
but I'm
mm-hmm,
glad
mm-hmm.
I mentioned all the fives. Like, shout out to Zimbabwe. And there was also, actually, this wasn't on your list, but when you get a time, I want to address the Ankansime segment. If you get some, I don't know if you have it on your list, but when you get time somewhere, throw it somewhere.
It's
But
in
going
there
back to the
somewhere.
question you asked me, it is there somewhere? Okay. Because I want my Zimbabwe family to understand. I saw people in the comment section. We'll get to that. But yeah, there's a lady called It's Never That Serious. She has a very good podcast in Uganda. It's amazing. I've had
That's
her on my
cool.
podcast. There were some guys in Uganda, the Mob Jazz. They do
Okay.
good work. There's a young man who I don't like to blow my trumpet because he calls me that. He calls me his mentor, and he
Oh,
has Johnny has had his podcast. I like to shout at him because he's doing an amazing job. He has invested money, time.
Wow.
Wowly Day, shout out. If you ever get to hear this podcast or somewhere,
Yeah.
I am big fan of his work. So we have a group in Uganda of podcasters, the people that are just doing audio and all that.
Okay.
We have a WhatsApp group. So there's many podcasts, but like, yeah, those stand out to me. There's another young lady, branded, young and branded, Hannah. She's doing an amazing job with her
Okay.
podcast. Shout out. Yeah. There's a few guys in Uganda that are doing amazing with the podcast.
That's really cool, man. And you are like in the midst of all of that, which we're going to talk a little bit more about that. We mentioned this at the beginning of this podcast. You have won Pulse Uganda Podcast Influencer of the Year. Not only one time, not only two times, but three times. But I remember the first year there was some rumor, some drama that made you pull out of the running for a little bit. What happened and how did you get back in it?
I forgot that you watched my journey since day one. I'm like, it's crazy that you bring that back up, actually. Nobody has ever asked me that. I mean, I've not done a lot of, but it's cool that you bring it back. Yeah. So when I was nominated the first time, which was amazing, and I don't even know how Pulse noticed me because I didn't have the best quality work on the internet. I didn't have very many episodes. I was just studying. But I guess it was the same thing like with the podcast industry in Uganda. It wasn't really that big when I first started. So I went in. I didn't know I was gonna win it, but I was happy that I got nominated. You know, like a nomination is something to show like your work is being seen and it's noticed, and I was happy about that. And when I brought this thing to the community, I was like, "Hey, I got nominated!" And my dad, my family back in Uganda, they love. I'll say they hate seeing their son somewhere. Like if you're into something, they're gonna do whatever they can do to make you win. Like they're so proud. So I remember when my family found out that I was nominated, they were telling everybody in the village, whether they have seen my podcast or whether they have not seen my podcast, voting was not for only people who watch your podcast. It was for
Find your phone
everybody.
right now and vote for
So
him.
get your phone and vote. So they went door to door and like it was just like going everywhere. So they were just, and people were asking, is he running for president? Is he running for what? What are we what are you voting? People didn't know what they were voting for.
That's vote.
They said, just vote. We'll answer questions later. But while that was happening, in Uganda they have a thing, and I wasn't familiar with this, where when there's online voting, people can buy votes or people can do that. So for us, we're just going in to just get people votes and just they're doing so I felt like my parents were doing their best to get these votes and like fighting hard or trying hard. But then if you're competing with somebody who is just paying money, I think it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So when I noticed that, because this person at night, we slept when we were like above, we had 1,000 votes like ahead. But just in few hours at night while we were sleeping, we came back and we are losing by like 2,000. These 1,000 like took us like maybe a whole day or 2 days to get to that. So it's like we're already fighting a losing battle right now, and I'm like, I don't want to waste people's time. So I made a post of like, okay, I cannot do this. If this is how people are doing it, I'm not gonna put money into buying votes. I just want people to vote because they want. So I put a statement out and I was very angry about it. I was like, no, wow. But then I feel like I didn't handle that situation in the right way. Because my computer who did that, she also didn't know that she was doing something wrong because that's a way of life in Uganda. People can buy votes and it's okay. If you have money, you can buy the votes. But I feel like the way I attacked her on social media exposed her a few times back. Then I reflected back. I was like, I don't think I handled it in the nice way. And it was because I was ignorant that I didn't know that's something that people do. I tried to reach out to her to apologize because her family and her friends reached out to me. It's like, why would you expose somebody like that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And that's not me. I didn't think it was going to be that bad. So I reached out, I apologized, but I think she was angry and she blocked me. I've never heard from her ever again, the girl who did that. And I feel bad till today for that, but I didn't know. And now I know better.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that for sure. And sometimes that's all you gotta do. You just gotta realize where you didn't do it right. the right way, and then you can go and try to fix it. And hopefully one day they'll reach back out and say like, hey, I
Yeah.
understand, like this is the way forward and all of that.
Mhm.
So thank you so much for sharing. So you've won it 3 times. What's there to win next?
Actually, this year I received a nomination again to be in it the fourth time. Like I said, when I'm into something, my family, my friends will do whatever they can to win that. And not being cocky or anything, but I believe in my people behind me and people who support me. Like I believe, like if we were in again, we would have won it. Like it's that's not me being cocky. It's just me believing in the
The
people
work.
that I have, like the family and the support that I got. I trust in my people, and I trust them any day for anything. But I made a decision. And I put out a statement because I got nominated again. But I felt like the industry has grown so much that for me to keep winning it every time, and once I'm in it, people are gonna try to win it. They're not gonna play around, you know. So I put a statement. I was like, I'm happy for the nomination, but I want somebody because there's a lot of people who are doing amazing work, and they need that lift. They need that, not in a bad way, but like I feel like also need to be other people need to be appreciated. And once you win something like 3 times, it's really what's in for winning in the fourth. I mean, it's good. People have won Grammys like back to back 4 times. It is good, but like it's also depend. We're different people. The way I looked at it was different, so I stepped out on that. But what's next after that? I really don't know. Like I said, I didn't start my podcast for awards, but if they come, I appreciate them. I'm thankful. If we get nominated somewhere else, that would be great. But in the meantime, I think my awards, I want them to be more people reaching out like, hey, brother, this episode is doing good. Hey, brother, this changed my life. Like, one thing I'll share with you, I didn't win an award this year, but I won something. A girl that I had on my podcast reached out to me and said, Bonnie, I want to share with you that you gave me a platform. And
Hmm.
now that led me to get a job as a head of market in this company in Uganda because they
Wow.
watched my podcast on your place. To me, that's a win right there. Like it's bigger than any award I can get because the awards I can put them here. They're all like sitting here
Yeah.
and they can't talk, they can't do anything. But like somebody is getting a job, is getting money to help his family, is getting his life
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
That is something that is growing. Yes, the awards are cool to look at. Oh yeah, I did 2023. Yeah, yeah. But like seeing somebody's life change because of my platform, that's a win for me.
Yeah, which you're doing that. And all you've said is just shows the kind of heart that you have in doing what you're doing and the reason why you've been able to be successful in this podcasting world. One of the amazing things that I got to see I almost got to see it because I was from a distance on your podcasting journey was when you went back to Uganda and did the homecoming event there. I was so impressed by how the community came together to support you. Did you already know that your work had been having such an impact before that trip?
So I'm glad that you bring that up. It's so crazy. I've never talked about this. I've hosted people who were part of my live podcast and asked them about their opinion on how it went, but I've
Hmm.
never really talked about it in my own perspective. But before all that, yes, I wanted to do something super cool. I'd done my podcast here in the US 3 years, and I wanted to do something in Uganda. But it's kind of expensive to do by yourself, and I wasn't getting money at that time. So I just dropped out as not dropped out, but like I just put up, hey, anybody who is willing to support me. And actually, people donated money. They sent me money. I
Hmm.
think you sent me some contribution too. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, you did.
A
You
very
did. I
small
remember.
contribution.
Yeah, yeah, you said the contribution. All my friends like chipped in, and it was the first thing I wanted to do in Uganda. It was amazing, and to see the people coming through for me, it was super cool. And going to Uganda and making that happen, it was also like stepping in it. That people loved it. It wasn't the best. It wasn't like anything. It wasn't anything extra. I have a smart heater here that's talking.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear it. That's why.
Wants to be part of the conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a beautiful conversation. The panel that I put together, people that showed up, I had over 200 people, and this venue was
Wow.
holding only 100 people. So people were standing, and it
That's
was a
crazy,
good
man.
event. And yeah, that's something I want to try to do again. I've announced on my episode that's coming out, yeah, that I'm gonna do something again next year for part 2.
That's cool. That's cool. I was so proud to be Ugandan, in my other life. Because for me, I really do appreciate when people come and support, the grassroots, come and support you when you start, because those people will move with you, towards whatever the end is going to be. How did
Right.
it feel for you to be back in Uganda then? And was there anybody who supported you that you were not expecting?
It felt good to be back in Uganda because, like I said, I'd spent 3 years without going
Mm,
back because I started in COVID and we didn't travel in COVID. So I started a podcast, but people in Uganda didn't know what this podcast is. And actually,
hmm.
till today, a lot of people thought my podcast was in Uganda. They see
Oh,
it
yeah,
because of
I
the
hear
magic
that
that we
through your
do. And
conversation.
yeah. So, like, but they can't tell. And I really wanted, since I'm the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, like to establish myself in Uganda. And the awards
Yes.
have kind of helped me that. And I think this year it's been amazing to establish myself in Uganda to be one of them. And that was the main reason I wanted to do a podcast there. But the people that supported me that I did not, not that I did not expect, but shout out to the Koteri Book Cafe, the venue.
Hmm.
The manager at that time, he's no longer the manager there, but even the CEO, the owner of the venue came to
Yeah.
my live show and they gave me a free place. I did not pay for anything, and I
Mm.
promised them that
Wow.
people are going to come, they'll eat and drink, and the drinks obviously is a hotel. They're giving food out, and the manager told me afterwards, "We've sold food that than we ever sold at this place," and it was
Wow.
January. And if you know January in Uganda, for my Ugandan people who tune into this podcast, January people are broke because they're from Christmas.
Yeah.
Like money
It's
is gone. We're from a festive
it's
season.
called January disease in
January
Zimbabwe.
disease. But people to show up and this hotel to make that much money in January because of my live podcast and being impactful. So it was back to back. Like they supported me for the event. It was free. And at the end, the CEO, the owner of the place came to me and was like, "Manny, it's amazing. If you ever need this place again, we'll definitely have it for you." I mean, yeah, I'm happy about that. But like for the next one, since we know like we want to make it bigger, we wanted
Yeah.
to go to a bigger place. But that's something that I'll always have, and I have her number. I just hit her up. Hey, I need to do an event here and do that. So that was a big support. And like for the people in the US that donated money to me, there were some people I went to school with
Yeah.
that I didn't know pick this idea. People who just give me money. Like I said in the beginning, God finds His way in my story, my journey, to use the people to help me with everything that I need.
Yeah. That's incredible. I love that. I love when people are that supportive because we see that too. We run a nonprofit organization doing water and sanitation in Zimbabwe, and seeing friends and people that we know and people that hear about us jump in and support this work to help people back home in Zimbabwe. It means a lot. And like feeling that support, seeing that support makes us push even further to try to make an even bigger impact in Zimbabwe. So that's really cool that when you went to Uganda, you received that, homecoming welcome from everybody there.
But also shout out. I want to shout out to the guys that helped me set it up. I have these
Yes.
brothers of mine that friends we grew up together, and some I've met on social media. They showed up to run the camera for free.
Hmm.
The guys who did my posters, Jeff the Poet performed. All the performances were free. I didn't pay anybody. So we kind of all came together.
And the
And this guy,
outfit, who
yeah,
made you
and
that
the outfit,
outfit?
Oscar Kampala. Shout out
Yeah,
to Oscar Kampala. Yeah, he did the
it's really
outfit.
cool.
So the guys came together. It's like, let's do this. Let's make this happen. Like people who have never done anything. Like I want to. How can I help? How can I help? Shout out to my friend Ivan Aber, and I'm gonna forget other names, but like people brought their cameras. Nyaika brought a camera. I was like, hey, use this camera. So we kind of just patched everything together to just help this
Wow.
event come happen.
That's really cool, man. That's awesome. I love how you host people too on your show. And I know a lot of topics have been talked about. But what topics do you think African media still avoids but needs to be addressed?
Actually, I'm gonna go with the one I did this year that actually blew up than I thought. It was about finance, like financial literacy. That's one
Dude,
of my
that's
episodes.
that's also like my one of the things I thought. But yeah, go ahead.
Financial literacy, and I didn't know this before I hosted up the guest. Shout out to Pumla Nabachwa. And but I got a question from somebody. I like to listen to my audience what they want and what they want me
Yeah.
to do. It's like, oh, you should ask this lady. She does financial literacy. So I reached out to her and I talked to her. I was like, yeah, I would like to come on. She has her own podcast. And when she came on, like we did this podcast, to be honest with you, I did not know that it was going to create that big of an impact. But this video went everywhere, all over. And right
Wow.
now on my Instagram, it has 2.8 million views and like the
Hmm.
comment are crazy. And like you see people from all over Africa commenting. But to answer the question you asked, that topic is avoided because if you go and read the comments in that post, people are having mixed feelings about it. She was talking about using your kids as retirement plan. You know how the parents are expected to have their kids to take care of them after they give birth, which is it's a big problem in Africa. And people have different takes, like no matter where you fall. But like the problem is people did not comprehend that video very well. That she wasn't stopping anybody from sending money to your parents. Like we know that's an African thing to do to
Yeah.
just take care of your parents. But she mentioned that as you do that, don't forget yourself so that we stay in that same circle of expecting our kids to give us money when they grow up. Like as now we're in this generation, yes, I'm gonna send my mom $100, but then I'm not gonna send everything that I have because I'm not gonna say, okay, I'll give everything I have to my mom, and then Isla, who when she grows up and she gets a good job, she'll take care of me. No, take care of yourself and don't leave
Yeah.
it on your child to take care of you. Let the child help you because they want to help you, not as a requirement. So people took it in the wrong way, but that's one topic that I feel like people need to hear. Yeah, I'll go with that one. I'll go with that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's the same one I had too when I was thinking about this question for myself. Most of us grew up in scarcity. It's easy to think then like the now is what you're thinking about because you want something that you want food right now, you want these things right now. But thinking about the future and how we need to, take care of ourselves, how to educate ourselves on how to build financial stability, investing in real estate, budgeting, building business, not just passive income, something that is big. Listening to like your previous episode that you posted about your friend who quit his 9 to 5 and he's doing
Hmm.
the food business, something that will go a long way. Investing in things that matter. I guess we'll have to continue this conversation with, experts and people who will be able to break this down for us, finding ways that us as Africans can be able to look at this topic and help ourselves so that we can not be stuck in that cycle of needing somebody to send us something.
Yeah.
So as you're doing this podcast, as you're doing your work, the impact that you've made, where do you find satisfaction?
It doesn't change from the feedback that I get from people.
Mm,
I feel satisfied when I hear the people say, this made an impact to me, this
mm,
changed me, and this, like changing somebody's life or impacting somebody's life, like to me. And I think I'll answer, I don't know if it's the same thing, but like success, like for me, that's a success. Like when somebody can tell me, like, hey, your podcast helped me to go through this, your podcast helped me to get
mm,
this job. Like the one girl I shared with you who got a job because I gave her a platform. And that's something that I'm trying to do with my podcast because sometimes we can get lost in the numbers. Like when I did an episode, got 85,000 views right now. I would have changed my, oh, I need to get these kinds of people. I need to get these kinds of people so I can
yeah,
keep like the horizon. It was good. I got it. But my intention with the podcast was like once I get like I mix match, I bring this person, bring this person. So what I do every month is like I find somebody who is doing amazing. Measure the artist. There's a young lady I just hosted. She doesn't have like more than 5,000 followers on YouTube or like maybe 3,000, but she's amazing. She has a talent. She has music.
wow,
But the society kind of gets lost in celebrities, like people, I want this person because I have these numbers, which is good. And it's been good for me. Like those celebrities have brought more numbers. But as I rise, I want to rise with somebody else, like pick up somebody who could use that platform and then bring them. And
yeah,
then when you get that traffic of people coming in to see APAS, who is like one of the biggest yeah, so like you bring somebody with you, and for me, that's satisfaction right there. Like I'm happy with that. And when somebody say, "Man, thanks for that platform," I was like, "Yeah, you're
that's
welcome."
cool. That's good, dude. Like we can talk forever. We just love having
Uh,
a conversation, and this is great. So I just have a couple more questions as we conclude here. So we can tell that you're a very busy man. You do, your work. You do the podcast. You do some other things, Operation Christmas Child, all of that stuff. How are you able to juggle work, being a dad, and leading one of the most influential podcasts in Uganda and across the world today?
it's been really hard, but like I tell people, my work ethic scares me sometimes. It's like I'm crazy. Like, yeah, people ask me, you have a full time job, you have a podcast, you have a child, but I do all those things actually. Like I do all them, and I spend time to play with my daughter. Like we were just dancing at Mawana before I came down here.
Yeah.
I'm editing an episode that's gonna come out on July. I went to a Christmas party yesterday with my workmates, so I'm able to find that. See, we have time in our lives. We just need to balance it very well. Like we do have the time. It's just like planning it very well. Like we can create, and the other thing is like people create time for things that are important to them. Like you always find time. I asked, I guess, one question like, you go to school and you're an artist. How do you find the time? It's like, man, if you love something, you're gonna find time to do it.
Yeah.
Like now, I edit on my computer. I do my own podcast edits. Like if people don't know my podcast, it's a lot of work because I get
Yes.
footage from Uganda. They send me footage from the studio for all the two cameras and the audio. So I have to edit that and merge it with mine because my guest is in Uganda,
Yeah.
and it takes quite a bit. But like I've also mastered, I taught myself to do that, and I learn it. But I do have a laptop. We'll be sitting in the living room watching a movie or something with the wife, and then I just like copy and paste, cut and paste. You take some breaks, play with the daughter, and then I
Yeah.
record every Saturday because Saturday I'm off work. So I record for about an hour. I do on the weekends, unless like today, if say somebody's in America and we don't need a studio, then I can do a Sunday, I can do after work, I can do at
Uh,
night. So I drop those in once in a while. And they help me. It's like the one I just released, the guy from Boston who has a restaurant. I did that midweek because
mhm.
he's in the States. So then that gives me room that when I get like the one from last weekend, I still have that, but I have an episode running. So I'm editing that now. It's going to be ready next weekend and then it'll put out. But then I've had that weekend, I've already recorded one that I'm already editing. Like I'm not rushing, but by the time the weekend comes, I have it, and people think, "How does this guy record and put?" But I have a whole week of like, even if I put in 1 hour today, put in 2 hours
Yeah.
tomorrow, so I balance the time out, and I'm able to do all that.
That's cool. Like you said, it takes a lot of planning,
Yeah,
also beginning this journey. And, I can see how it can be a lot, but you just need to be able to create the time to make it possible. Your work, man, has been flawless. The quality of the work is amazing.
thank
Something
you.
that we're all aspire to have one day. But I'm just so thankful that I get to, have you to talk to you. I have you as a resource that I can talk to and ask some of these questions of like how the production, the sound, like, and all of that. I do really appreciate you. So how do you see the podcast in 5 years?
How do you see the podcast in general? My podcast.
Your podcast, yeah, in 5 years, like how do you picture yourself?
So I don't let myself go too far ahead of myself. I don't like to take myself too far ahead. I like to just go gradual.
Yeah.
But I always tell people one of my dreams is to keep doing it because people start podcasts. There's a lot of people, many people that we started with, and 10 episodes in, they drop out or like they lose the motivation. I always pray to God that I still have that motivation because I still want to be doing it forever. As long as
Oh,
I
wow.
can still hold the mic, I want to do it. And
That's cool.
actually, yeah, one thing I can say, at one point I hope it's like my full time job. And like this is something I do. So like that's a dream I have towards it. And
Mm,
I also hope that by the time Isla has picked interest in it, people have asked me about a co-host, and if she loves it, it'll be like a dad and daughter. We might create our small segment podcast because
yeah.
I've seen people having like two podcasts going in one channel.
Uh-huh.
So I might have like a segment with her, and just like we're doing that. I would definitely love to have her on the podcast as my. So we'll do like a maybe a 15 minutes conversation or
Yeah.
10 minutes, and just ask her about her life. And I did something small with her, which I feel like she's in that stage of like talking now.
Yeah.
I would love that. But the biggest one is to keep doing it. And that's the one thing I ask from you. And I'm not gonna force you like to stay doing it, but like I always tell people that passion will drive you. It depends on your why. But when you get to a point where you feel like your why has kind of died out, it's okay. It's not like we're
Yeah.
not meant to die in one place, but like if you still have your why, it's always good to just keep doing it. People need it. I feel like I feel bad sometimes. Quitting has never crossed my head. Somebody asked
Yeah.
me that question. There's no single day I've ever thought about quitting. There's been days when I've been disappointed, discouraged,
Yes.
but quitting has never. When I get disappointed, when I get discouraged, this is not working out. I had really struggled with my quality of. If you go back and watch my episode, even the one with APAS, my camera was always going out of focus. I'm not a camera guy. I always try, like I bought the camera, but I can't
Yeah.
figure it out, and it was bothering me. But all along, I was trying to learn and teach myself, and I'm still learning to get better.
Hmm.
When I get to something that's challenging, I put my head to test, like, well, how can I fix this? How can I make this better? So that's how
Yeah.
I roll.
No, that's incredible. That's incredible. Thank you. I mean, like we're saying, I've seen your journey and you've done an amazing thing. Your studio, you recently changed your background and everything, and it's in your studio and it looks incredible and you've done a very cool job. So what advice would you give to young Africans who want to use media to create impact?
The biggest one is don't get in it because of money. You're gonna get disappointed and quit. Money will come. Just like you send me a lot of reels on Instagram about like Uganda. I don't know if you see this one. The financial minister of Uganda. Our economy is. The money will come. That guy. They asked him how is the economy in Uganda. He's like the economy is sweet. Be patient. The
Yeah.
money will come. But no, that's the truth. Like a lot of people start podcasts because I heard you can make a lot of money in the podcast. Yeah, the money will be there, but like to get to that money, you're gonna have to go through some.
Takes a lot of work.
Takes a lot of work. Like you're gonna have to
Consistency.
consistency. Like even with me to start getting some money from YouTube, it took me 3 years. Like even
Mm,
even after I bought this, money wasn't like really that much, but it's still I'm thankful that I'm able to get that. But the one thing is like passion. I
yeah.
love this podcast. I love this podcast. Like I keep saying that all the time. Like for me, it starts with me. Like anytime I get to sit down with somebody, I'm not
Yeah.
even thinking about the people that I'm gonna watch this because right now I'm having a blast like talking to my brother Taka and just like
Yeah.
sharing minds back and forth. Like I love that. And if I can get paid for that, hey, I'll do it any day, anytime. So do it because you love it. Some people have done it because of money because they already have the numbers. You don't need to build the numbers. But people like us who have just like you have to build to put yourself up there. People in Uganda think I'm a celebrity, which I don't judge them if they think like that. But for me, I think of like nobody knew me and I'm just living my life. I'm just
Just
who I
doing your
am.
passion.
And humility. Like a lot of people have pointed this out that, oh man, this guy responds to all our text or responds to our messages. Like I'm not those people that God is gonna give you something and then you just use it to boost. Yes, if I'm busy, I might not get to your response right away, but I'll get back to you. But I wanna be connect with my community. Like people, if somebody messages you like, hey man, I really loved your podcast, why wouldn't you respond back to them? Like this
Yeah.
person, you're making podcasts for like they are supporting you, they are watching it, they're doing this. Fix a minute and talk to them. Don't be like, don't let the pride get over you. Like I put myself to their level. Like whether you think I'm a celebrity or not, I'm still me, and I want people to know me because of who I am, not because what I've become. And yeah,
That's very rich, bro. That's very rich. That's really cool and very like impactful words and very practical. And thank you for sharing all of that. So to conclude this episode, we're just gonna talk a little bit about that episode that you
let's
did
go. Let's go.
it's incredible to see up to this day people are commenting, people are liking, it's still moving. What was your takeaway from?
By the way, shout out for you to asking that question. I think people didn't understand why, and that's the reason why I collaborated with you because
Yes.
I sent out question for people to ask and can see me. And you're my brother. You're like, hey, ask her about Zimbabwe and all that. Ask and Kansima has been to Zimbabwe, and a lot of people in the comments say that. First of all, Ann Kansima is a comedian, But also, people would have understood that. Like, she loves that. She made a comment of like the names in Zimbabwe, which is true. She might have exaggerated on some of them, but she's a comedian. And like, anytime you get an opportunity to get somebody, you can make the thing more funnier to make it more interesting.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the fact that it's true. There's been those names, and like you've said it, people in the comments have said it. But I think it's social media. Some people didn't take it the right way. Some people were hurt about it. But I don't think Annika Sime meant anything bad. And this Zimbabwean comedian, what's
Yeah.
his name?
Zimbabwean.
What's his name?
Learn more.
Len Moore. Len Moore, he made a joke of like, oh, the other day I was in Uganda. Uganda carries like 4 people on a motorcycle or something like that. And which is funny. And it is true. And he made a joke of that. But to my people in Zimbabwe, I love them so much. And that's why I sent it to you, Tremaine, everybody. It's like, Bonnie, why are you attacking us like that?
Yeah.
People thought it was funny. It was a joke. No hate about Zimbabwe. I love my African people, Zimbabwean, like, which is crazy because like Shona is like literally closer to Uganda. So
Yes.
it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what I can say about it. And it was all from you. But whoever is in Zimbabwe and listened to this and saw that, because it went viral all over in
It did.
Zimbabwe and people were sharing it. I
Yeah.
love my Zimbabwean people and I didn't mean any harm. And if it offended you, I apologize, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely let your apology sink in to those who need it, but I don't think there was anything to apologize for because I know Kansime is a comedian. Like, she
Right.
is funny. Even I saw some people, of course, they were coming out to even defend me because at first she said, well, what's your friend's name? And then you
Yeah.
said Taka. Then like, she was like, oh, you see? Then she was just trying to hope that my name would be evident
Yeah. But
or
I said the African name. Yeah.
the African name. So that didn't really help her point at that particular moment.
Exactly.
But then when she was giving examples, of course, she gave the most outrageous examples. But also, there are also like names like that, in Zimbabwe, which is funny because I don't know how people name their kids that, but it's popular. Like, their names, Evidence. There's, you know, Roundabout. I haven't met
Roundabout.
a Roundabout, but she was just like expressing how extreme some of the names may
Yeah.
be. But I don't think she meant any harm. I've been to a comedy show, where if you're just like walking, maybe you're walking to go out to the bathroom, a comedian can just like talk something about you in that particular moment. So like,
Yeah.
they just roast you because that's what they
Right.
do. They're
Right.
comedians.
Yeah.
So I didn't take any
And whatever
offense.
they say might not be true about you, but it's just funny.
Yeah, it's just funny in the moment. I didn't take it like as an offense at
Yeah.
all. But I'm glad, that went viral and people were talking more about the names that we have in Zimbabwe and stuff. But I'm also glad that I have a Zimbabwean name because she would have toasted me.
Do you have
That
an
would have
English name?
No, actually I don't. Takawira
Okay.
is my full name. So Taka is just like a short way of saying my name. And yeah,
Okay.
Takawira, I don't have a middle name. I just have Takawira.
So when you sign your documents, it's just Takawira.
Just Takawira, no middle name.
Is there a space or anything, or is just one thing?
No, Takawira Sitole. Of course, Sitole is my last name,
Sorry,
but
yes, right.
but Takawira is my first name. I don't have a middle name, and yeah, that's it. So maybe I should pick up Roundabout as my
Pick up Roundabout.
middle
Yeah, I
name.
don't have a middle name too. My name is just Bonny Kibuuka.
That's awesome. I appreciate you being here today. And is there anything that that we haven't talked about that you may want to say, your last words before we say goodbye?
It was just a unconsummate thing. I was gonna remind you that if you forgot, because I wanted to share it on, because I know this episode is gonna go in Zimbabwe, and some people will see it there, and some people have seen it on like one page from Zimbabwe that shared it. So yeah, the other thing was gonna be about you and your work, how you determined you are, and holding this conversation. It's I haven't really done a lot of interviews, but like I feel like you dissected everything very well. It makes sense when I hear people tell me that when I interview them, like, hey, you did an amazing job. Like, for me to feel like it was worth to sit down. I didn't
Yeah.
even know we are like in 1 hour and almost 30 minutes. because the conversation's going and like you asking thoughtful questions, and
Mm.
it helps me express myself better and talk. So you're doing amazing, my brother, and it's only going up from here, and it's gonna be great. I'm proud of you. I'm happy. I'm continue to pray for you, and my door is always open. Mikasa Sukasa. If you need anything, if you need any have any questions, I'm always there to help. And
I
we always learn
appreciate
from
it.
each other, because at the
Yeah.
beginning the people won't listen to this part. But like I was asking about the document get signed and stuff, but it's not something I do. But you explaining to me, it's like, oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool, and that can help me. And just like, yeah, I've learned something from tech. I know you've had just a few episodes, but like we always learn something from each other. It's just like the same way when you see a 10-year-old kid and you're 20, this kid might help you realize something that you don't know. And not
Yes.
just because the kid is 10 doesn't mean they can help your impact your life somehow. So I appreciate you, and man, you're doing amazing. It's really great.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much for joining me today on Taka Talks podcast. And this is the first of many conversations. I would love to invite you back on here again,
Let's
and we can
go.
talk about what's going on at that particular time. But I appreciate you giving your time to be able to be with me. And the reason why I started this podcast is for me to be able to share these inspirational stories of people across the world doing amazing things. And you, my brother, you're doing an incredible job. So keep up the great work. And like you're saying, let's keep going.
Yeah, little we know it, you'll be nominated in Zimbabwe, and you'll be. And if there's anything, if you ever get nominated or anything, any support that you want, Taka, just you have my number, you have everything, you have my home
Amazing.
address, so you got
GPS
everything.
coordinates.
Yeah, you got everything.
That's wonderful. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Let's talk again soon.
All right, man. Let's stay connected. Thank you very
Peace.
much. Peace out.